Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a pretty interesting topic today. We're going to be talking about red dyes and IBS. I'm going to be breaking down where are red dyes located, how can you identify them on food products, and we're also going to be talking about IBS. So if you don't know what IBS stands for, it stands for Irritable Bowel Syndrome. So if you have any type of gut dysfunction, if you have any type of constipation, diarrhea, gas, heartburn, bloating, if you have pain in the abdominal cramping, all of those can be associated to IBS or irritable bowel syndrome. And I'm going to be talking about the different type of IBSs and IBDs that fall into this category. So if you have been diagnosed with these or suspect that you have one of these, then this is going to be the video for you, and you want to make sure that you watch it till the end so that you get a full understanding of how this works. And when I was reading an article today, I came across this, and it was talking about how there was research done. The scientists took red dye and they gave it to mice to see if there were any effects on their bowel system and on their gut system. And what they found is that after feeding mice a normal diet and then adding Allura Red AC or Red 40, also known as E129, for 12 weeks, what they found is that at the end of that 12 weeks, that the mice had an inflamed GI tract. And usually they can go in and look at this through an autopsy, or they can use like a little scope and go down there and look, and they can actually see inflammation just like you do for any type of diagnosis with IBS or IBDs. And they also found that they had a disrupted gut barrier. So leaky gut is something that is very prominent nowadays. A lot of people have leaky gut. If you have any type of autoimmune issue, or if you have arthritic changes, leaky gut is something that can attribute to those. And go check out some of my past videos if you want to learn more about leaky gut. But this is one reason why, if you have been diagnosed with leaky gut or you think that you have leaky gut, then the red dyes can be attributing to that, which is very interesting. There are other reasons, and the main one I go over is stress, which we talk about in that video, but go check that one out. And in healthy individuals, what the study found is that it can actually trigger, these red dyes can trigger irritable bowel disease in healthy individuals. So by doing this study, they've really given us a powerful tool to show us how even just something so small that we think may not impact us can have a huge effect on our overall health. And for me, I think gut health is one of the foundational components that you really need to take care of for longevity, in taking care of autoimmune issues, any type of neuropathies or pain syndromes. That is always a good place to start. But this, and I want to do more videos talking about different additives that are coming out now that we're seeing more and more issues. Like, for instance, Skittles is going through a lawsuit because they found titanium dioxide in Skittles, which has a multitude of carcinogenic effects, especially for colon cancer. And so if you are one of those that is a big candy eater, you definitely want to stay tuned for more about this. But like for this instance, red Skittles or something like that could be the reason why you're having these issues. The scary part about this is that they've actually known about this for 50 years. This recent study is just something that scientists wanted to do to see if it really did cause those issues. But knowing about this for 50 years, but still with even FDA clearance, they're allowing these into the food chain is just crazy for me. And I think it's one of those things that they think just because you have to put it on the label that everybody should know that this can cause issues. But you see those things and you have no clue what side effects that will have on your body. Just like what this study is showing, is that I did not even know that red dyes would cause this type of damage to your gut system. So it's definitely something that I'm becoming more aware of when it comes to my health and my diet. And so what exactly do these red dyes cause? And when we go to IBDs, what we're talking about is something like Crohn's disease, and this is actually where your intestines rot. So Crohn's disease affects the small intestine, and what happens is that you get so much inflammation in the small intestine that it'll actually start to decay and deteriorate. I had a friend in high school that was suffering with Crohn's, and they had to take out, I think it was like 6 to 8 feet of his small intestine because it was just rotting away. And so that's why this is so important for you to understand, especially if you're on the verge like, do I have part of my bowel resected or do I not? So take kind of an audit on your diet and make sure that this isn't one of the reasons why you would be having it. Now, ulcerative colitis is something that affects the colon. So you have the small intestine, then you have the colon. And ulcerative colitis, this is typically diagnosed when people have like blood in their stool, they have a lot of pain with bowel movement, maybe they have irregular bowel movements. But the key factor behind that one is the blood in the stool. And the thing about it is that both of these issues cause ulcerations, inflammation, and sores in the actual intestinal tract. So in your gut, you're actually having these ulcers and these little sores. I don't know, sometimes every once in a while when I get really stressed, I'll get these little sores in my mouth. And that's a whole nother topic. But think about that. Think about your intestines being riddled with those little sores and it being caused by just something that is added to your food. And so as that happens, that's what can cause those chronic issues. And ulcerative colitis, sometimes they have to take out your colon as well, and they give you what's called a colostomy bag, and it's a poop bag essentially. And that's like a worst case scenario, and we don't want that to happen. But anyways, how can you tell if one of your foods has a red dye in it that it was indicated by this study? And so this little square box here, I talk about, these are the things that you need to be looking for when you're buying a product to make sure that it's not going to cause you to develop any of these issues. But red 40 is the obvious one. I think a lot of people know that one. And then there's red 40 Lake, which is a different one. You may not see it as much, but it can be hidden in there. And verbiage is always the most important thing when it comes to being able to identify these things. FD&C red 40. And then there is food red 17. So even though it's not red 40, which we commonly attribute to red dyes, red 17 as well. And then the Allura red AC. And so if you see any of those on your food labels, then you want to take a second to think and refer to this video and be like, okay, do I even want to risk the chance of developing like some gut issues or inflammation in my gut, especially if you already have any type of digestive issues? So like I said, write these down, get a pencil and paper, or save this video and reference it when you're doing your shopping and grocery shopping. Now, these have been banned in Europe over the last several years. They have a lot stricter regulation on any type of food sources when it comes to their population and their diet. And that's why I have a lot of patients that travel abroad, and what I find with them is that when they come back from their being over in Europe, they feel a lot better because they're eating, non-GMO foods. They're not eating foods that have these additives in them. And overall, their health is just, exponentially better. It's not just a little bit, it's a lot better, which is kind of sad here in America that we have to struggle with that. But take into account these when you're shopping. Now, I wrote some foods that this is commonly found in. And so candy, any type of red candy, overall you should be avoiding candy in general, but the red candy specifically obviously have the red dyes. Soft drinks, so anything that is kind of like that red or orange coloring, like Fantas or tropical punch or anything like that, definitely want to avoid. Any type of like red velvet cookies, I'm sorry for you red velvet cake lovers out there, but that ties into like the cookies, the cupcakes, and the cakes. Obviously, if you've subscribed to my channel, you're somebody who takes their health very seriously, and you know that all of these additives here contain copious amounts of sugar, which we need to avoid anyways for long-term health. But then you have your fruit flavor snacks. So if you're a parent or you're a grandparent, and I know sometimes my sister would get like those little fruit snacks, and you know they're like fruit flavored, but like they're the gelatin, and they're like just basically pure sugar with coloring. That's something, especially you know if you have a kid that has digestive issues, you definitely want to avoid those. Cereals, so you like your Lucky Charms or anything like that that is red. That's really the only one that I can think of. Or Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops are probably one of the worst things for you. Any type of red pastries. And then this one surprised me. It was yogurt. So any yogurt that is like maybe like a strawberry flavored or raspberry flavored, you want to look and see if it has one of these additives on there, because that can be you know, even though like you think you're eating healthy, it's sometimes things like this sneak up on us, and we just have to be aware. I do like an almond milk yogurt that is phenomenal right now, so check that out. If you do like yogurts with a little bit of blueberries, it's great. So everybody, thank you for watching. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I hope you found this helpful. Like this, share it with your friends and family. Let's get the message out there that these can cause issues. And I think if, you know, we get enough support, we can really, you know, help a lot of people prevent these chronic irritable bowel issues and these gut issues that we see very prominent in our clinic especially, and just need to be addressed. So thank you again for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Put any comments below of like other things, like if you want to hear about titanium dioxide or maybe another color dye, just see what I can come up with and help break that down for you. But I plan on doing kind of my own research on that as well. All right, see you everybody, bye.